have definitely been seasons in my life where I have been busy, too busy to have or to make the time to sit at Jesus' feet as I needed to. But there have been some of those seasons where God has allowed me to get to the end of myself, to recognize that I'm running on empty, and to see some of the signs of that, like getting short with my family members, or really having a grouchy attitude, or not having the energy to really care for others' concerns or even to pray for them well. And sometimes I'll see that I'm distracted, or I'm going to my chocolate stash or my Instagram too often. And I recognize those as signs of not really being in that posture of sitting at his feet as I ought to. God is very kind to always help me recognize that and bring me back to himself. He's a good shepherd. Usually that starts with confessing to him that I'm off and that I'm wrong, going to the wrong things, and that I need him. And most often that's followed by going to my husband and my family and also confessing that same thing. And then together with them, communicating and coming up with a plan about what we need to change, whether me as an individual or us as a family. And that might mean I need to say no to some really good things. Or it might mean I need to go to bed a little earlier or get up a little earlier. It might mean that I need to put away my chocolate stash or my Instagram for a time until my heart is retrained to go back to Jesus instead.
If I don't spend time with the Lord, it is so obvious in my life to me. I'll be impatient. I'll be thinking so much about earthly things that don't, that take my attention that really don't mean that much. It's just awful. And I see such a difference. I tell my husband, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. And he, but I see it. I know it's real. And so again, I know that I need Jesus.
When I was in college, I struggled for a couple years with an eating disorder. The messages that I was hearing and what the world says with women that struggle, or I guess anyone that struggles with things like that, is just believe that you're beautiful, because that's what's actually true, not whatever you're believing about yourself. And so I tried to cling on to that, but still, I kept slipping back into those old habits and mindsets. And it wasn't until I was at church and the pastor was speaking on humility. Humility is looking at Jesus and seeing him in all of his glory. And when you look at him, everything else just fades to the background. And I had been in such a state of self-pity, and that was the wake-up call that I needed, to realize that in my healing, the things I had been trying to lean on to believe truth were still all about me. And that was incredibly humbling, and that was where change really started to happen. And I started to be able to prioritize time in his word again. And now, several years later, I feel like I am in a place of healing.